A lot of these young Catholic men, they're so taken by the women because they have no experience with them that they become simps, and the women run their shit. And I see it. I know many people that are like this. I know many young men who are married and the wife runs their shit. She wears the pants.
Nick Fuentes totally goes off on how feminism has ruined modern dating and marriage in this explosive rant with Myron Gaines and Andrew Tate, as Nick Fuentes calls out the raw deal that marriage is today for men while torching tradcons like Matt Walsh and others who preach tradition but refuses to adapt to the state of modern women today. Let's get in.
When it comes to women, me and Tate have a very similar ideology. Get sexual experience, increase your net worth, become the highest status you can be, and then kind of have your pick of the litter and get to a position where female sexual leverage can no longer control you, right? Someone like yourself, right? You're religious, you're devout Catholic. Obviously, you're young. You have a huge young audience that follows you. Obviously, on one end, you have the Catholic mindset where, monogamy, one wife, etc. But on the other hand, we know the realities of modern women now in 2025 versus 1955. And a lot of people that are your kind of counterparts, like a Matt Walsh, etc., advocate for the monogamy style, despite the fact that we're dealing with modern women. So as a guy that's like religious, right, that's religious but still based to what modern women are, what's your take on this situation? How should men navigate the current sexual marketplace, in your opinion?
Well, I did a whole show about this on the Walsh versus Tate debate, and obviously I'm Catholic, so I do believe in one wife, one wife, monogamous, no adultery, no cheating, and you have kids. But I do think that the trad cats, the traditionalists, they're just not being honest about the deal. They want to LARP like it's the 50s, but it's not the 50s. And that matters. They're telling everybody, get married young, have more kids than you can afford. And that was the law, 100 years ago. Maybe that was the rule. That's what everybody was doing. But the whole situation was different. There was a social and cultural taboo against women even being like bossy, mouthy, sarcastic. They didn't want to be a shrew. They didn't want to be a bitch. They couldn't just divorce you with no reason by themselves and then take your stuff and your kids. They didn't have group chats. They didn't have TikTok. They didn't have Instagram. It was a different world. And so, a lot of people it really is a reckless message. And they like to say out of this LARP, pandering to the crowd, they say, oh, yeah, get married young, have more kids than you can afford. You know what the elite would hate? Have more kids, all this kind of stuff. And my message to the young men is you really got to get solid before you consider marriage. And when you get married, it's got to be an extremely judicious decision. If you're going to have a wife, and I believe you should have one wife, you got to pick the right one. And when you pick the right one, you got to lay the ground rules early. A lot of these young Catholic men, they're so taken by the women because they have no experience with them that they become simps, and the women run their shit. And I see it. I know many people that are like this. I know many young men who are married and the wife runs their shit. She wears the pants. And these good little Catholic boys, it's almost like they buy into it more than the woman does. Because a good little Catholic guy says, oh, she's an angel. God gave me an angel and all this kind of stuff. And the woman is thinking, this pussy, I'm going to run this guy's life. I'm the one who's in charge of the house. And I hate seeing it. And for this, they call me gay. For this, they say I'm anti-family. For this, they say I'm a fake Catholic. They say, why don't you encourage your followers to get married? I think they should do it, but I think they should do it responsibly. And they got to put the women in their place.
Yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel, but I'm with Nick Fuentes. I'm not living like that. That phrase, happy wife, happy life, that is a submissive statement to the wife. Not doing it. Those are terrible relationships. They don't work out. And then we already know 80% of the time, the woman is the one initiating the divorce. No, absolutely not. This whole pedestal that they have put women on, all the while they want the man to be the provider at the same time, but take second place. Absolutely not. You need to lay down the rules. If they want to be with you, if they want your protection and you to provide for them, and if they want all this from you as a sacrifice, then you're going to do things my way. Because if I'm going to be responsible for A, B, and C, then you're damn well right. I deserve respect. And look, they are free to choose. If they don't want to go along, that's fine. But do not let your guard down and do not give them the home field advantage. It is to your own detriment, guys. But hit that like button if you're enjoying the video. It really helps the algorithm. I appreciate it. And let's get back in.
Here's the thing. I find women incredibly annoying. I'm a super high IQ person. I find most people annoying in general. I think women are dumber than men. I find them extraordinarily annoying. And I don't know how most men don't. And if I'm ever going to get married, the arrangement is not going to be that I'm getting nagged, that I'm getting told what to do, that I'm checking in with my wife. It's like, you're going to do your fucking obligations. You're going to leave me alone. And you're going to be my wife. You're not going to be my buddy. You're not going to be my best friend. You're going to be my damn ass wife. And a lot of people say, oh, well, that means you don't really like women that much. It's like, yeah, I kind of don't. I mean, not as friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I think about,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're
like
annoying, dude. I talk to them every day. It's literally, I don't know anyone that enjoys the company of women. That fucking sucks. But continue, keep going. I'm just hilarious.
I mean, look, you want to fuck them and everything, but like, when I think about it, I want to go out and have the best time of my life. I think I want to go with my best male friend. I want to go with my best male friend who's intellectual and intelligent and risk-taking and that. I don't think like, oh, we're going to go on a trip. You know what would make this really awesome? If my wife were here, if my fucking wife were alive, and here's the litmus test. If there is no possibility of sex at all, are you still going to have a great time with a woman? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
it's only fun if there's a possibility of sex, because the game is fun. The game of, am I gonna get laid? When men talk about that, that's the part that's fun. The part that's fun is not her witty banter. It's not her stupid fucking inane commentary. It's the fact that you're playing a game. It's like gambling. And anyway, so I try to explain that. It doesn't come across all the time, but that's kind of my, maybe my fence sitting position. I'm spiritually with Tate, but by law, I'm with Matt Walsh, I guess.
Yeah, guys, that's actually a great test. Put down in the comments if there was absolutely no chance, 0% of having any sexual relations with a woman, would you ever go on a date? Would you ever spend your time? Would you ever meet with them? Would you ever have a conversation? If you had a choice between her or a guy, which would you go with? I think it's pretty obvious. Everyone knows, and I agree, it is the game. I've been a bartender. I've spent my life, kind of in the social circle like that. I've seen it. That's just how it is. It's the cat and mouse. It's the prey and the predator. It's wired into us. It's just how humans move. But if there was no reward on the back end of any of that, why would you even play the game? It's not fun anymore. There's no reward. So you would absolutely just be more or less wasting your time. But folks, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about what Nick Fuentes had to say, calling out the trad cons, and how modern dating has been absolutely ruined by feminism. Thanks again, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.